Let's get to movies and money and say hello to film critic ERIK Childress. Hello to you, ERIK.
Hi, Angie.
The box office gross for The Suicide Squad this past weekend may have opened up a whole fresh batch of questions for the industry, especially as we see the country react to a new wave of the Delta variant.
Yes, this is a weekend we may look back on as a moment when a few more light switches went off over people's heads about the direction the industry is headed. James Gunn's The Suicide Squad already had the HBO Max strike against it in regards to just how much it was going to make last weekend. Throw in the rising Delta numbers, and it just made the decision much easier for a lot of people. Now, the blame game is being played in all directions once it was revealed that the $185 million budgeted DC comic book reboot had only grossed $26.5 million domestically by Sunday. The spin playing up its success as an R-rated film during the pandemic was the most laughable of all, as Warner Brothers was measuring it up against just two other films that held Thursday night previews, The Forever Purge and The Green Knight. But behind the scenes, you get the sense that studios, so often behind the eight ball on innovation, are finally realizing the ceiling that has been created in the current landscape, as well as how the majority of their potential customers are more than comfortable waiting for the opportunity to be more comfortable versus the urge to see something as soon as humanly possible.
AMC theaters could be closing in on a positive cash flow by the final quarter of the year. That's if box office sales reach at least $5.2 billion. Right now, we're around $1.7 billion, according to ComScore. And now Warner Brothers has a new deal with AMC for 2022 to put its films into AMC theaters for at least a 45-day run. What do you make of all of this, ERIK?
Yes, it was a pretty foregone conclusion that Warner Brothers making all their films available for 2021 day and date with their theatrical releases on HBO Max was a one-year experiment. And I'm sure we'll be hearing many insider stories over the next couple of years at how much they regretted that. But now they are following suit with what Universal and Paramount have announced and giving many of their theatrical releases a 45-day window before they appear on any streaming site or available on home video.
Several new films are coming to the box office this weekend, including Jennifer Hudson portraying Aretha Franklin in Respect. Take a look.
How many albums have you had?
4.
And no hits. Honey, find the songs that move you. Until you do that, you ain't going nowhere.
R-E-S-P-E-C-T. Find out what it means to me. R-E-S-P-E-C-T.
ERIK, tell us about the films all hoping for some RESPECT this weekend.
Well, as I alluded to earlier, I do believe this is a critical week in how we may see things begin to play out the rest of the year. Don't Breathe 2 is the sequel to a surprise hit from 2016, though horror films, with the exception of the third Conjuring film, have been pretty muted this year. Respect, with Jennifer Hudson as Aretha Franklin, is in a position to engage a demographic that has not had much playing for them, though it is precisely the kind of mid-range film made for adults that is just not drawing attendance. But most eyes will be on Free Guy with Ryan Reynolds in a kind of Wreck-It Ralph meets The Truman Show. If this film finds itself anywhere under $25 million this weekend, it'll be a sign that the primary audience for theaters is starting to diminish again. And if you can't get them, you aren't going to get older audiences either. And we may start to see some shifts again with theatrical exclusive titles such as the new James Bond film, No Time to Die, Ghostbusters Afterlife, and Top Gun Maverick. We can all be hopeful that things start to look better again by the end of September, but studios cannot afford these muted grosses without a safety net that too many are avoiding at this point.
Well, today, a real-life drama plays out in a cornfield with the Yankees taking on the White Sox.
Hey, is this heaven? No, it's Iowa.
I have to say that is one of my all-time favorite movie lines.
Well, this is certainly one of my all-time favorite movies and one of my top 2 crime movies ever. I got the opportunity to visit there years ago, and it really is a special place. As for those getting to play the game today, well, my loyalty remains on the north side, as you can see from this picture with my dad when the Cubs in Wrigley Field were doing the Hey Dad, Wanna Have a Catch Father's Day events in tribute to the film. But in the same spirit, or at least 8 Men Out that came out the year before, if you're invested in the game today, maybe don't place a bet on the Sox.
Well, you never know, ERIK. Thank you very much. Go to businessfirstam.com for where to see our show on TV.